Hey all, hope you're well. I just thought I'd do a video talking about the P16s, just so everyone on the team can be super familiar with how these things work and the different features that it includes as well. So here we go, the P16. So all along the bottom here, firstly, is where you select the instruments that you're going to alter the volume of or the panning. So on this one, luckily they're labelled. If it's not labelled, the best way to do it is to just sort of make some noise and see what lights up. So I'm just singing into this microphone here, and you can see there that 9 is lighting up green. So that's showing me that my vocal is 9, and it's got vocal 1 on it, but I'm seeing what one it is just by singing into it. So once I've selected the instrument that I want to alter, there's just a few key features that would be really helpful. This here is the volume for whatever instrument is selected. So this is for channel 9 volume. So a couple of things that you're going to need to make sure of. Make sure that this volume button is lighting up red. So if I press it in here, this whole thing is now turned off. So even though I've selected 9, I might be doing the volume up and down and nothing's happening, and I'm thinking, is this broken? It's not broken, it just needs to be selected. So once that's turned on, you can do that. It's kind of like a mute button really. Mute, nothing's happening, activated, then you can get the volume going on there. The pan here is kind of really important as well, because that means you can shift it all the way to the left or all the way to the right or somewhere in between. And this is a tool to really create space in your mix. So if everything's just dead center, if everything's right in the center, you're going to have a really crowded sound. All of the instruments are just going to be occupying the same space. So as you can see here with like these vocals, I've panned one of them all the way to the right, one of them all the way to the left, and I've done that based on where they're sitting on the stage. So if I had a vocalist all the way to the right, on my right, sorry, like this one 10, I'm going to pan it to the right so that it actually sounds like they're coming from where they're standing. Or this one here, 11, I panned all the way to the left because I had that vocalist standing to my left. And so it really opens up the space in the mix, brings clarity so that you can hear the instruments and things aren't competing for the space. And you can do that for the other instruments as well, like I think keys here, I had taken a little bit to the left, I might even put that a little further. Maybe pads you want to put to one side, especially electric guitar. If you've got 2 electrics, or if your electric is stereo, panning them left and right is a great way to create space. Kick and cymbals and bass, you can do what you want with those. Keys, electric guitar, vocals, those are the things you're going to really want to pan, as well as the room over here. We'll look at grouping in a second, but the room is something that you're going to want to pan left and right to create that space. And I really like a decent amount of room. I mean, too much and you can start, it just washes out and it feels pretty chaotic. But having the room in there is how you feel like you're in the room. And you'll notice that when you've got in-ears in, all of a sudden it can feel like you're locked away in a room and you're not aware of what's going on. But putting the room mics back in means that you can hear where people are at, what they're singing, the congregation. It makes you feel like you're in the space. It's really helpful for your intuition, for knowing where to go and how to read the room. It's really helpful. Click. You could pan that all the way to one end or the other, depends how you like. Comms, the same. You can do that how you want. For us, comms is the speaker with the handheld mics. you know, maybe the pastor or something, but also at City Campus we've started doing an MD mic, which I'd encourage everyone to use, and we can set that up soon. That's just having a mic on the stage that doesn't come through the front of house, but just comes into this comms channel. So it means everyone that has ears gets to hear someone, a music director in their ears saying, hey, we're about to do this transition now, let's put the click on, whatever it might be. Just someone that's kind of guiding you through that. So that's really helpful. So just a couple more things. Up here, we've got a whole bunch of parameters, processing kind of stuff. So you've got bass, mid, and you can choose what frequency that is, and treble. And that adjusts, again, whatever you've selected. So let's just say it's on the keys here, and we want to, now that it's on the keys, these knobs now are going to be affecting the keys. So because there's so many different instruments, what you're going to do is go around until it lights up, and that will show you what the keys were set as, and then you can go ahead and change it. So I'm just going to show that again. I'm going to click off the keys to something else and back to the keys. Oh, here we go. I'm going to click off, move this around, back to the keys, go until it lights up. So it lit up right there. I'm going to zoom in right, zoom in again and show you this again. So my keys, my bass was kind of there just before halfway. I'm going to go to another instrument and move it around. Back to the keys. See, it's not lit up, but once I get to that point where it was, it lights up. So that's where it was set, and now once I've gone to there, I can adjust to where I want it to be. So I can put the bass all the way up or all the way down, or of course mid here, select your frequency, going to more of a low mid or a high mid, and then select how much volume you want of it, or treble. So if something's sounding kind of harsh, but you still want it in your ears, you could just take down the treble. If something's sounding pretty boomy, but you still want it in your ears, you could just take down the bass. So that's the EQ really, this is an EQ. The limiter is pretty helpful. The limiter sets a ceiling on how loud something can be. And this isn't for an individual instrument, this is just the overall volume. So you might have like a drum come in really loud occasionally, and so just occasionally the mix is too loud. Well, what you can do is just put a limiter on, so that when the loud thing comes in, the limiter is going to squash it down so it can't go louder than you want it to be. So with this limiter, the further left you go, the stronger the limiter is, and all the way to the right basically means the limiter is off. This here, output level, that's pretty straightforward. That just controls your overall mix. Okay, there's just a couple of other things you're going to need to know. This button over here, main, can really catch you out, because that is also controlling how loud the overall mix is. So let's just say this main thing is like way down here. If you just come back and play with your level, you might think, why is it so quiet? I can't get any more out of it. Go back and check the main. It's because this is all the way down here. So you're going to need to bring this right up. Well, it doesn't have to be right up, but give it a healthy amount so that then when you're playing with your output volume, you're not struggling to get volume there. So that one's a really, really helpful one. Other ones here, just mute buttons and solo buttons. Just be aware of those. So you can actually solo an instrument or mute stuff. So if you're struggling and thinking, gee, why can't I hear this or that? Just be aware of these solo and mute buttons. Solo means you just hear one thing. Mute obviously means, see here I'm selecting a few instruments at a time to mute. So just make sure that if you're wanting to hear everything, nothing's soloed, nothing's muted. Okay, so one thing that you can do as well is this button here, link. So if I press that button, link, and press here 13, see how it's automatically joined 13 and 14 together? I can unlink it or I can link it. And if I press that button off, link, now these two are just permanently linked. So I'm just pressing these things individually, and then when I get to 13 and 14, I'm controlling them both at once. So that might be quite good for, I don't know, if you want to just control two things together at once at the same time, you can link them. So I'm just going to go ahead and unlink those now. The other one here, group. So you can group however many things you want by just clicking that group button like that. So yeah, that's kind of pretty crazy, so I'm just going to ungroup that. And that there, the last thing I'll show you here is this recall and store. So you might just have your mix exactly how you like it. Then what you can do is just click store. So I just click that store there, and then choose what number you like. So maybe your mix is number 6 or something. Store 6, and that's flashing red and green. That's storing. Then if you want to recall your mix, click over here, recall, back to 6. And yeah, there you go. But that might not have worked, but keep looking at that. So that's a wee introduction to the P16s, and hope that helps you. Thanks guys, see you later.